Well, my name is Flavia Vieira. I'm from Portugal. I'm a visual artist. And for the last 10 years, I've been living between Porto in Portugal and São Paulo in Brazil, where I did my PhD in 2019. I work mainly with ceramics and textiles in an installation context. And I'm very interested on the political and also the social and cultural narratives that are behind this, the craft handmaking. The project that I have been developing here in Matadero in collaboration with Artworks, it's called True Black. And it has as its starting point a tree called Palo de Campeche, or logwood tree in English. This tree is originally from the Yucatán Peninsula in Mexico, and it has a central role in the Spanish colonial history of the 16th and 17th centuries, because it was used as a main source of black dyeing in textiles. So this color, the black color, is very associated with the Spanish court of Habsburg. We are talking about Philip I, Philip II, III, IV, also Charles I and Charles II. So this black color became a symbol of power, of imperialism, and also of privilege, because it was only used by the rich people. And it also became a trend that had a deep influence in the fashion codes during that time. We are talking about a period of time where color pigments were not synthetic yet, so the only way to get them was from nature. And till Palo de Campeche discovery, the only way to get black color was from gallium nuts, for example, which is like a tannin-rich substance. But they were very grayish, so and they were not also very solid colors. So that's why the Palo de Campeche became so highly valued, because it was the first time that it was able to have like very deep and solid black color. So the Spanish colonizers begin to use the Palo de Campeche as like a commercial product, and it was a way to spread their moral and geopolitical supremacy. So, you know, considering all this colonial history of Palo de Campeche and also its geographical scope, this project seeks to explore the global geopolitics and also the power relations that were established between this hegemonic central colonial center and its periphery. That somehow this history of the Palo de Campeche dyeing can symbolically represent, and also to connect this with our existence and with our contemporarity. So it's a project seeks to explore and to reveal and to work this diaspora of the black color, and considering regarding its double meaning and its contradictions, because in one hand this black color can represent power, authority, imperialism, but it can also represent you know, the desire, the unknown, the exotism. So these contradictions, this double meaning, for me it's very interesting to explore in my project. So in the end, it's a very political engaged project that tries to address notions of identity, collective memory, power, authority, otherness, during this period of residency, I was able to be in contact with some institutions like Museo del Prado, Museo del Traje y Real Jardín Botánico de Madrid, which were very important in this research period because I was able to be in contact with like the historical archives and also with people that study, you know, this historical perspective of plants. In the case of the Real Jardín Botánico de Madrid, I was able to be in contact with some historical archives, like the first drawing of Palo de Campeche, like the first official drawing from the 18th century. In the case of Museo del Traje, I was able to see some of the garments from the 16th century and also 17th, which were dyed with Palo de Campeche. And in the case of Museo del Prado, I was able to see some of the paintings from the 16th and 17th century of these kings, the portraits of these kings, like Philip I, Philip II, that were depicted with these black garments. So all this info, all this information will be used in a video or in a small film that is in process in the moment. At the same time that I was making this research and also being in touch with this material that it will be used in this film, I was doing this kind of set of sculptural exercises that somehow I can see them as a thinking aids and not really a work itself, because in my studio practice it's very important for me to, you know, to make things in parallel to my research. So this, I can see them as a thought facilitators, like they help me to think about the project. In the case of the ropes, they were dyed with Palo de Campeche. The ceramics were made here in Matadero, and they somehow evoke this Palo de Campeche's colonial history. We can see the seeds that are similar to the Palo de Campeche tree. We can see some elements that are connected with the garments from the 16th and 17th century, with these ornamental shapes, the ruffles, the embroidery. So these are kind of exercises, sculptural exercises that help me to think about the project, so it's not the work itself. Because the aim is to do this video. Actually, I have to come back to Madrid to do it. The aim is to do this video and to present it in Museo del Prado. Maybe in the beginning of the next year. We are checking the schedules. And also to do an exhibition. I don't know how it's going to be, but there will be an exhibition also next year that will talk about, you know, this colonial history of Palo de Campeche. Being here in Matadero, it's been amazing because I'm being able to be in contact with, you know, with the institutions and with all the material that is connected with the colonial history of Palo de Campeche. So in that sense, I think that the project, I can see some differences in the project. It allowed me to move on with it, being in touch with these people and with this material, historical archives, and so on. At the same time, being here in the residency context helped me to to be able to discuss the project and to think the project in a very collective way, not only, talking with Bruno Leitão or the people from Matadero, but also with the other residencies. So I think this was really important in the development of the project. So for me, it was really a pleasure to be here and to work in this context.